Hello everyone, and welcome to the spring meetings of the IMF and the World Bank being held here in Washington. 188 member countries of these institutions are meeting here at a critical juncture for the global economy. And I think if you look at what's happening over the next few days, you really get a sense of that. All the major global economic groupings are meeting in one way or another. The G8, the G20, the G24, the BRIC group of countries, the African Consultative Group, and many others. And as well as official meetings, we have civil society organizations from all over the world, global parliamentarians, and the world media is here in force as well. Well, the meetings kicked off today in the usual way with press conferences from the heads of the institutions. Bob Zillick for the World Bank, Christine Lagarde for the IMF. And in her press conference, Christine Lagarde really set the tone in terms of the global economic outlook. While there's been some improvement over the last several months, the recovery still remains timid, the risks still remain high, growth is still too low, unemployment is still too high. And in this message, she was really echoing what had been described and said in some of our flagship publications earlier this week, most notably the World Economic Outlook.
For the last 6 months, the world economy has been on what is best described as a roller coaster. Things have quieted down since, but an uneasy calm remains. One has the feeling that at any moment things could well get very bad again.
Now, in terms of the issues to be discussed over the next several days, well, Europe, first and foremost, is on everybody's minds. What the Europeans have to do to build on what they have been doing over the last several months in terms of policy actions. But it's not just Europe. The emerging market economies are dealing with a high level of volatility in the global economy. How do they manage that? The low-income countries are dealing with lower aid flows. They're dealing with lower levels of remittances. They're dealing with depleted financial buffers. How can they be helped to help themselves? And of course, the Arab Spring countries are also very high on the agenda. And we saw this clearly in the questions posed to Christine Lagarde this morning at her press conference.
I think all ministers and governors who are coming to the meeting go home with more energy and a clear understanding that everybody has a task. Everybody has work to do so that in a more cooperative fashion we address the challenges.
A final issue on the agenda for these meetings is the call for an increase in the global financial firewall to help the world protect itself against the possibility of financial contagion. An important part of that global firewall is an increase in IMF's global firepower, an increase in IMF resources. Over the last several days, IMF member countries have pledged $320 billion in resources, and we expect further progress to be made over the next several days. So, the bottom line, all these issues are very much live and under discussion over the next few days, including tomorrow, where in particular there's an important meeting of the G20 and the IMFC, as well as, of course, many other meetings of seminars and conferences taking place in the sidelines of the official meetings. So I look forward to reporting to you again tomorrow, and until then, goodbye from Washington.